I know I'm taking quite a risk here because people who reveal these levels that I'm talking about here now don't stay long on planet Earth. There's always some reason to remove them. So that's the risk I'm taking, if you call that a risk. At this stage, I don't. There's a communal understanding of religion. Some sort of group understanding that's brought down in the perpetuation of the societal in general. This perpetuation of the societal in general keeps all of us searching for what we don't know yet. What's not revealed to us yet. Thinking that we're ignorant, rather than the society itself and the societal itself is keeping it from us on purpose. Keeping it from us on purpose. Giving us a pablum, a platitude, to envision and understand this communal understanding, and to give a valence, or whatever the word is, to give an importance to this understanding, and as if I don't get it yet. You see? So the religion says, well, you don't get it yet. And maybe I get it, and they get it too, but they keep it from me. And this is brought down in all religious exercises. Even in Chabad has a Sefer HaBenuni, Tanya, that's for the middleman, but there's a lost book, Sefer HaZadikim. That's like in the Torah is written with a bet, and it's called the Sefer the Torah of Berea world. But before, actually there's a very good point here and how I'm going to bring it out. Before it, condemn, comma, it, there's a Sefer HaEtziliyut. There's a Torah of Etziliyut that we're supposed to actually find out. So the Torah that we're learning is with the bet. It's the second Torah. Bet Reshit, 2 starts. But there's a start before, a previous, a kadem, a comma. And that's what we're all searching for. That's why you're watching this. Oh, I meant to tell you, I had over 10,000 hits yesterday on my YouTube channel. Oh, that's not views, that's hits. And so, that's what everybody's searching for, spending their life. But they're spending their life in the societal that's structured to keep you from it. Because that's how they make a living off of you, in the perpetuation of the church, the state, the synagogue, the mosque, the tennis society, the government. All these things are structured for the perpetuation of the same. And how to break that chain of pain. And once you do break the chain of pain, you're eliminated. So let me break the chain of pain for you. In the societal, the major thing is echad. Everything is one. Everything is one. To bring everything back to the echad. To understand that everything is one. And that's beautiful. That's the number one. First number. Is it? You ever hear of zero? The whole structure of the philosophy and of the schooling and of the intellect and everything else was to keep you from the zero. That's all. In fact, how do you do binary? How do you do like code 0 and 1? See? How do you do quantum physics? Is it the 0 and 1, so to speak, or simultaneous there? And that's a quantum computer, simultaneously there. It's not much different than the Aleph and the Samak, because the Samak is a circle. The Samak is a 0. Once you get that the Samak is a 0, then you got it. See? And this 60 makes the 0 because that's how the clock goes around. So the Aleph is Echad, but the Samak is a 0. And the Samak is the real start. In philosophy, they bring that down as the Ouroboros, as the snake biting its own tail. That's the snake in the Garden of Eden. And how we know this? Because the snake is the father, actually, of Cain. And the gematria of Ephes is 141. But Ephes, which is 0, spelt out is 312. And that's the gematria of Cain spelt out, 312. 312 is a very propitious number here. Because when you add the 8 letters of the Ephes spelling in full, you get 320, and that's the hard dinam. 5 din of 64 each. It's also the first 2 letters of the shofar plus the 14 periks of the hand. But as we go on, Ephes is 0. Ephes is spelled Aleph, Pei, Samach. But the way to delineate Ein Sof is in a shorthand, in a Rosh Tivo or in the Torah Cohen or whatever it's called. Aleph, Samach, quotation marks, final Pei. That's Ein Sof. It's the same letters as Ephes, rearranged. Because Ephes is the great secret. In like Pythagorean type thinking and the original schools. And so they kept you from the Ephes. They kept you from the 0 by telling you that everything was Echad. Everything is 1. No. Higher than the 1 is the 0. That's where the 0 is from Ein Sof. And that zero comes down into Rod Low. And Rod Low, for me, which means like Resh, head which is not known, but it also could be a Resh, which is a head. The low of not. And the not is the zero, because the zero is the beginning of negative numbers, which is the low. And negative numbers have been kept from you forever here. Negative numbers only came into like the normative thinking of mathematics a couple hundred years ago. And this all emanates from the zero. Because the left of the number line is negative. And everything, here, I'll do it this way with a goofy camera. Left of the number line is negative. And that's why everything in religion is with which right hand. Because the right hand is positive. And they don't want you to get into the negative. As soon as you do, they keep you from it. They keep you from the negative. Actuate the positive. Do the negative. That's part of the 10,000 hits I got yesterday on my beautiful site. They don't want you to the left hand because that's the negative. They don't want you to think in the negative. Even in the positive thinking, everything's positive. Eliminate the negative. That's all in the echad, everything echad. Well, for me, everything is in the zero, the FS. And that circle in the zero is the circular sephirot that come before the lines. So the circular sephirot come before the lines, but we don't enter into that. We only enter into the lines. And we enter into threeness, which is a fullness of the line itself. 3 dimensions of the line. And this all emanates from the circle itself because pi is 3. And pi is the big deal of 3 diameters make a circle. So we drop into 3 lines. And 6 radii make a circle. And that's how we get the Bereshit. The law of 3 of the diameter is 6 of the radius. And this all comes from the circle itself. And so what do? They take 1 diameter, or 1 radii, or whatever they do, and they call that a line. That's the kav. Actually, the kav hamidot is a radius that comes from the top down into the exact center of the circle. And anything below that line of the center of the circle is kind of called Sitra. And one of the great secrets is the Mashiach's principle. His soul, his little dot will be in the second half of the circle, below the line, below the kav, below the center where the kav ends. And that's an aleph down there. And as we proceed with this, the circle is we'll call this Rod Low for the time being. Ein Sof emanates into Rod Low as a circle comprised of 3. That circle, that it's kind of like a triangle that you make a circle out of. There's a triangle in the circle. That's 3. And if you connect those dots, that's Hokmah, Bina, and Das. No, excuse me, Keta, Hokmah, and Bina. And so, comes out of Ein Sof down into Rod Low, and it's still a circle, Rod Low, comprised of 3. So the real Echad is the Echad of an Efes. I think I had that like that. Hold on. Yeah. Now, how do you find this Efes? The best way to see Efes is to envision what's in back of your head, where you have no eyes. That's Efes. So again, the front and the back in my last video with the 10,000 hits. $10,000 hits and 4,000 followers. Thank you so much. It means so much to me to reach the 4,000 mark in followers. I feel like I'm having a flock of sheep. I feel like Moses. He counted his sheep as followers. The desert. It's a Sheh. That's the din of Moses. And I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. To see in the back of the head, that's Efes. It's nothing because you don't have eyes in the back of the head. You can sensate what's in the back of the head, but you're not seeing it. That's Efes. And remember yesterday I was talking about the front, which is Arik Anpin, the length of the nose and the face and the forward, and the other is Atik Yomin, which is days Atik former days. So you want to see in the back of the head. So you want to cover the back. When you start getting in touch with the back, what happened before, you'll find out that you've only been told that the future has all the answers. Look to the future, and you're going to make all these corrections here. Tikkun olam. As if the former days, the Atik Yomin, were incorrect, need correction. Well, mine is the exact opposite. I think that the former days were correct. So you got to look in the back of your head, where that dalet is in the tefillin. And if you don't look at the dalet in the tefillin, that's the opening of the dalet of the Ehad. The opening in the back of the head is the dalet of the tefillin. They keep it from you. So 0 is the beginning. Become a 0. Don't give me this stuff with all is one, all is beautiful, world is one. That's fine. You've been told that. I was never told that the world is zero or that the things begin with a negation, but they do. The word Ein Sof has a negation in it. Ein. And when you say the Muslim saying La ilaha illallah, La means no. There is no. You start with the no, La. Same as the word Rod, lo, Lamed Aleph. It's the same thing, because if you are strong enough to overcome the Echad and get to the zero, or strong enough to overcome the one and get to the zero, the real root of one, and how zero is manifested down here is one. But if you want to get to the real thing, it's zero. The one is three. Buckminster Fuller said that. Jesus said that. Or the Christianity says it. One manifests in three. If you look at the Aleph, it's 3 marks, 2 yuds and a vav. And in Sufism, they bring it down as the even the alif, which looks like a straight line, they bring it down as 3. The one is 3. But everything is low. La. Zero. And that's what's been kept from us, even in school. Count your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But the 10 is the great secret, because it comprises the 1 and the 0. So the pintel of the yud, the dot of the yud, is 10. That's 1 and 0. And we're base 10 people. So after 9, which is the repeating number, we get to 10, which is the 0, which is the 9, and then the 0. And that's like the Enneagram of Gurdjieff. There are 9 reoccurring spots within the circle of the 10. That's the 0. I don't know about you, but I'm a 0. I'm not a 1. I'm not an ego. I'm biddle, bottle, whatever the word is. I'm a bottle. Biddle, 0, nothing, dead, mort, MS, Aleph, I, Mem Tov, Met, dead. I am dead. And when you're dead, you're 0. You're everything. If you think all is one, wait till you get to the 0. See. That's what biddle means. 0. When you convert the ani, same letters, as ayin, Aleph, nun, yud is ani, I. Convert those letters, switch the dins. Aleph, yud, nun, ayin. Like Ein Sof. It's a Z, it's a biddle. When you become nothing, you become everything. Don't tell me about 1. Nothing. 0. Envision the 0. That's the beginning here. There's a lot more. Nobody watches 25 minutes of a video. That's why I got 10,000 hits. And this is, I'm going to bring this up in psychology. And there are psychologists who believe this. And the Rod Low is a big area here. The Resh, or the Rosh, or the Risha, the Low. And the Low is 35, which just happens to be a family number of mine. And of the low, the head of the low. So in other words, the head of the low can also go upward, because it's upside down. It's hipuk. So we're entering into realms here that they're kind of simple if you know the zero. You know, kind of simple. And this was a good introduction. And the beauty about the zero is that it's Nietzsche's, repetition of the same. I always believed that, by the way. To me, every day was Shabbos. I created one day, and I wanted to repeat that day forever. I don't need variations. It's the same thing in music. If you have too many variations, it means that you get bored with the real. For me, I made one day. And I repeated that day. And the repetition of the one is the zero. Whoa. That's the zero. I never left Olam Haba. I never got into the multiplicity. So, look at the zero a little bit, and I'm going to be going from there, because I had this whole thing about negative thinking. Negative thinking for me was to eliminate the one, to go from the one to the zero. That was negative enough for me. And there's a whole world from zero to negative one. You see? And the absolute value of one is one or negative one. And so this zero and the relationship between zero and your world and your life is what I'm going to be explicating from now on.